All right. Just got a chance to check out the new Starfleet Academy. It came out literally not too long ago. And I'm just peeping in and here to just report off of the first things that come to mind as I'm peeping this new galaxy. Or actually, it's not even a new galaxy, just a new territory that Star Trek is looking to join or is looking to embark into with regard to there actually being a fleet academy instead of this being on a quote unquote starship. But that even has a twist. So let's go ahead and get into it real quick. What's going on? It's your boy, the real Vince Taylor, reporting live, representing the New Blurred Order. And yes, today I had an opportunity to give the Starfleet Academy a gander, and as a quote unquote certified Starfleet Star Trek expert, I want to report live on my findings on what we did just get a chance to witness. So let's go ahead and get into it. Well, the first thing that I did notice is the cast. And the cast, yes, they got a nice gathering of young folks to kind of represent the next generation of Star Trek faces, of which we'll go ahead and dive right on into. We see a young man by the name of, I guess it's Caleb Meir, right? And Caleb, I guess, is the star. Like, this is the Captain Kirk, pretty much. You know, this is the guy who's going to get all the women. He's going to get all the attention. He's going to probably exert all kind of leadership capabilities, despite the fact that he's probably a little bit of a delinquent. Very Kirkian. Very Kirkian. We also have a young man by the name of Kareem Dayan, who plays what I would assume is a Klingon. Although I will say I don't know for a fact as of yet. He's given Bajoran and Klingon. I don't know. There's something there, and I don't want to assume, especially when we saw what his emotional state was. It wasn't very warrior class Klingon. It was more of a, kind of a science evolved medical. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see what that's all about. Just to run through a couple others. We even have Tig Notaro, who was in Discovery and actually did a little bit of time in Starfleet Academy, in Strange New Worlds. Big name comedian, got his huge following. We saw Paul Giamatti represent as what appears to be the villain type of character, and we also get to see a whole bunch of other dokes like old boy Oded Farr, who plays Charles Vance of Starfleet Academy. I mean, of the Starfleet like leadership role. This is really kind of the world building that we've gotten ever since they reintroduced the Star Trek franchise to the Paramount Plus to Paramount in a 10 episode series form. After the whole J.J. Abrams reboot with Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto as Kirk and Spock, and don't forget Zoe, and we can go down the whole line. And Chris Hemsworth was in there too. He was George Kirk. That was Captain Kirk's James Tiberius Kirk's father. Which, by the way, did you know in like one of the first episodes of Star Trek they had James R. Kirk? And then they missed it. That's a whole other subject. Anyway, so let's get into what it is that we liked about what we saw today. What we liked about what we saw, for the most part, is the fact that this does appear to have some staying power. I like the freshness. I like the fact that we don't really know exactly what it's going to do. I'm going to keep it real. I didn't necessarily, I'm going to say what I was thinking. I didn't say this the right way at first. But I didn't like this as much as I loved it. I loved it. I didn't expect to like it so much. It's crazy. Like, it really, like it exceeded my expectations. Here I am sitting there thinking it's gonna be some school and they're gonna try to, let's have a school with the kids and all that. Nah, it wasn't nothing like that at all. They actually have a ship. Believe it or not, there is a ship, okay, that the school is run off of. So when the ship actually lands, it lands in San Francisco. The school is a starship. How? Come on, that ain't nothing new. That is new. That's cool. I like that. And I like now I ain't gonna lie, they had some crazy stuff going on the ship. Like, if you watch through the episode, you see they got an aquarium and they got fish in a pond. And I'm like, hold on, man, what if y'all get zero gravity at any point in time? Like, what if y'all have any issues with y'all are gonna be this spaceship? What if y'all mess around and end up in the beta, gamma, delta quadrant and surrounded by species 8462, 8472, or the Borg or something, and now you got fish and carp to feed? And come on, I don't know, it was a little much, but other than that, I really did dig it. Like the first episode especially, we get out the gate a whole bunch of new species, which is always cool, including one dude who evidently is a spacewalker. His species evidently doesn't necessarily need air or warmth, but he walked right out on the ship, so we saw that as well. But I like the story tied into it. But we'll get into why I could see how it's problematic in a second. Of course, you're gonna have your oddness. I dig the fact that we do get the doctor back, the EMH from Voyager, who had a brief stint as well on a movie, I believe. Which one of the movies was it? It might have been Resurrections or something like that. We get the doctor, and not only is the doctor there, he's aged. They give some sort of reason for his age. Oh, I had to make the fields feel comfortable a long time ago, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. But did you catch the little Easter egg he threw out there for all of the Voyager folks? Did you catch what he say? He say tricorder, and then he says medical tricorder. That's exactly the first thing he said to Tom Paris when he had brought Tom Paris back to assist him when he was first activated as the EMH on the Voyager ship. So that's a callback for everybody who was into Voyager. He literally used that exact phrase, tricorder, medical tricorder. And he still got that same wit, even though obviously life has been life has been lifing, but I'm glad he's still around because everybody from Star Trek unfortunately isn't anymore. So I did like that. I like the introduction of a ship. I like the introduction of new species. We have new species in the house. I think that the captain of the ship, this is going to be our actual second time having a captain of alien descent. Okay, that doesn't happen often. This is only the second time our captain has been of alien descent. Okay, now the first time it happened was with your boy, the emissary, one Benjamin Sisko, who, if you watched all the way to the end, you learned that he was part alien. He was one of those non-corporeal beings that was in the wormhole, and that's why they always called him the Cisco, because one of those beings went down and had a baby with his daddy like a long time ago, and daddy didn't even want to tell him till he was a grown man. And that actually happened to my dad, which is crazy. Like, I mean, not the alien part, but the not knowing you. Well, anyway, that's a whole other. All right, so that's the whole thing. And then the second time is right now with this young lady who I honestly I don't even know her name. It's difficult. I mean, it's Captain Nala Ake. It's Ake, I believe it is. Ake. All right. Captain Nala Ake, played by Holly Hunter, who actually, dare I say, plays the role well. I like her little spunk. But here's the thing that I can already see as potentially being problematic, right? They're setting themselves up to easily be accused of having of using the blindside trope. All right, we're getting very easily into the blindside trope, where we got white woman swoops in, helps old poor colored boy, blah blah blah, and tries to assist, even though the system is against him. Here, I'm gonna come and take you away from this evil system that's trying you. I'm even gonna quit my job, and it's dangerous. That's dangerous territory, man. Now, I will say that obviously things circumstantially are completely different from the blindside situation. This isn't some lady who's just trying to make good off of some football players back and ultimately sell a story just for the benefit of the family, and then the son doesn't actually. The whole actual blindside story, not exactly. But you could easily see how somebody could watch this and be like, yo, y'all trying to blindside this little boy, right? Like it's almost too hard to miss. And I was trying not to let that part sink into my mind when I was sitting there watching it, but it's really hard. It's hard. Um, Especially when she is the one who separated the children. And we know separating children from families is a topic of high discussion around these parts nowadays. So I don't know, man. I think y'all might want to be careful because that part did stick out like a sore thumb, especially for those of us that have that in the back of our mind that have been conditioned to be on alert when we find issues like that or subject matter that tends to kind of dwell in that whole white savior complex. I don't know, man. It's something about it. But here's where I will withhold judgment. We're only for those who've only gotten the first two episodes. We're only 2 episodes in right now, and I didn't skip ahead. I'm staying with the first two, and I'm hoping, I'm holding out hope because if you go back to the actual occurrences of what took place, what they said was she, as well as the rest of the committee, ultimately decided that that was what had to be done. When the young lady took the food from Paul Giamatti's character Nuss Braca, or accepted whatever it is contributions he was providing for her household at her request, I guess that means that she was guilty either by association or she was just guilty because she had no business dealing with the people that she was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And that's on her. But it is curious, since it was a committee ultimately, that had to make a decision. I am wondering if we're eventually going to get more information or some sort of background that gives us a clue into what it is that went down in that whole 12 angry jury setup that they had for the decision that they ultimately landed upon with regard to the sentencing of not only Mr. Nuss Braca, but also old boy mama. Like, he's gonna have old boy mama locked up because she was hungry. Like, I know depending on what side of that argument you fall, you might be like, man, hold on, man, like this is corrupt. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold up. So you mean to tell me that Starfleet is so advanced that we can have stations on other planets, but we can't understand when somebody is trying just to be able to feed their children, and we're going to sentence them to some sort of work camp as a result of them trying to feed their kid? Like, that's really what we're doing? So yeah, it's easy to probably, get caught up in that mindset, as I would too. And then your son ends up kind of hating the Starfleet, and then you go be like, oh no, don't hate Starfleet. We was trying to save your mom. We was trying to look out. Nah, man. Now you done made you a whole thug that's out there, that's smart as hell, that's escaping from jail after jail, that's stealing, that ain't learned not a nan thing because you done tried to bring him to the system. My man was like, bump that, bro. I'm out. My dog, the first thing he did as a little boy, he was like, yo, go get my little toy. He went off to get the little five Nights at Freddy's teddy bear that he had. And next thing you know, pew, he out there in the snow. Okay. Now there's something endearing about this, but there's also something like you kind of roll your eyes and you like, why you had sentenced that man in the first place? Why you like what made you the authoritarian figure that says, you know what, we better for you than your own mother? Like, that part just makes you cringe, right? Like, you're like, whoa, you and the dude, and you mean to tell me that old boy, the admiral, had a say so, and he chose to not go along with what it is that you thought? Oh, and then the guilt. Oh, she's stricken with white guilt after this. Oh, I quit. I resigned my post. I don't want nothing to do with this no more. And then spent the last 15 years trying to find this dude. I don't know, man. But ultimately, this is the first couple episodes. And here's the thing. I have learned, especially since watching Voyager and to an extent Enterprise, but Voyager specifically, not to preserve judgment of the entire series based on the first couple episodes. Had that been the case, as soon as I saw Janeway sat there and tried to tell the crew, nah, we ain't going back to Earth. We got to stay here and kill this caretaker so that we can go ahead and have us a good old time over here in the Delta Quadrant for the next 70 years trying to get back because we 70,000 light years away. But we saved the Ocampans. Nah, we ain't having that. At least toward the end of that saga, Janeway did have some regret about that. So what I'm saying is I hope that the character arc for the folks on Starfleet Academy, specifically for our Captain Nala Ake, who was about 200-300 years old, evidently. I really hope that this means that we will learn a little bit more about what it is that they had to speak on in order to make them justified in making that little boy no longer able to stay with his mom, because that's kind of crazy to me. Like, that's a hard thing to just let go. Hey, we just gonna take you from your mom. Like, literally, since when is Starfleet Academy DCF? Like, oh God, I thought we was out there to seek out new life and new civilizations and boldly go, not seek out other people's kids and hold them hostage and basically take them from the state. Like you child, like you Department of Child and Family Services. It's very Jedi-esque. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on. Knock. We're here to take your kids because we got to test them for this, that. And if they actually test really high, sorry, but they belong to the Force. Now, so I dig the fact that they starting it off with something that's a little different. Clearly, my man, Jay, excuse me, Jay is the kind of Klingon dude. Jay is this dude, which I'm very interested in seeing what his character arc is, because it looked like in this we're going to see him learn more about who he's supposed to be, who he could be, who he was. I'm interested in learning new characters. I always like learning new characters, and this is set around the same time Discovery is about, and you know that because they actually gave an honorable mention to Discovery. But Mr. Caleb Mir clearly is going to get all of the screen time, and I'm cool with that, you know. But I hope that they spread it around evenly, unlike an Enterprise where they made it all about Jonathan Archer, and also every now and then maybe T'Pol and maybe the George Bush dude. It's Trip. Okay. I like the android. I like our new android friend. You see her in here. You see her right up here. Okay. This is our android friend who's laying upside down. Excuse me, I call her android. Pardon me. I am so sorry. She is not an android. She, ladies and gentlemen, is a hologram, just like the Doctor. And she's kind of on some quest where she's trying to learn how to integrate properly to, human culture. I think that that's kind of cool. We had a hologram with EMH, and now EMH has its own little protege. So we get to see how that works. Another thing I want to address is the whole that did go through my head was we did see your boy Caleb basically escape from prison, right? Like he was essentially a prisoner, which is another thing that us as people of color, specifically Black folks, is sensitive of, because we don't want to always be depicted as some sort of prisoner, some sort of criminal. We don't always want to be presented as something that represents us in a negative light, because we don't know how that's going to be reacted to. Like, we don't know whether or not folks are going to take that and then be like, yo, this is how people are in real life. You see how they do when rap videos become prominent. So I was a little cringed when I saw that he was, a criminal, and they was basically trying to make him out to be this bad boy criminal dude. And it immediately hit one of my let's just say trigger like a trigger area where you're like, like Black folk, but we're so sensitive about some of these things. But then I had to remind myself, not that it's acceptable, not that I'm okay with it, not that they had to do it in this role, but I did have to remind myself that even back in Voyager, all right, Voyager had a whole host of quote unquote criminals, not only on their ship, but that she actually recruited, not all of them, but remember Tom Paris. Tom Paris was not some dude who was living freely in society as an upstanding citizen. She got him out of prison, out of a work camp of sorts, for her to be able to have him as one of the best pilots on her ship. That's Catherine Janeway on the Starship Voyager, the one that, went to 70. All right. And in addition to that, Where's the first place that they went? They went to the Badlands to try to capture the Mackay. And the Mackay, Mackay, I'm pretty sure it's the Mackay. All right. The Mackay, led by one Chakotay at the time. And Chakotay was like, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? We out here going against the Federation because the Federation didn't necessarily help us out when they took these homes away from these from people that were in Federation and basically gave them away to the Kardashians, and they was at war with all of them. And so when the Mackay, we ended up working alongside the Voyager because they got stuck away for so long. Guess what? She had to make Chakotay, who was essentially in a movement that was mutinizing Starfleet, gave him the first chair, and he was number one. So it is easy for me to internalize the fact that I don't like to see Black people portrayed in a way that's going to make anybody look at us any different, or make it so that we have to defend ourselves or something like that. I don't like doing that necessarily, but I did have to remind myself, even though I still don't agree with it and don't like it, but this isn't the first time Star Trek's done it. All right. And they did it with a whole white bread, complete blonde hair, blue-eyed white dude before this, and a Klingon, and a Puerto Rican Klingon at that, with B'Elanna Torres and with Chakotay and all them. Not saying that makes it all right, but I'm just saying it's not the first time Starfleet has done something like that. And they've been known to do a lot of stuff over the course of their entire tenure. So I got to make sure I look through the whole scope of it. But at the end of the day, I did like the new introduction. I like the fact that you can see traces of J.J. Abrams' flair all over the place. All right. That was one thing he brought in when he did the reboot back with Chris Pine, when they finally got him back on track after having those those last four movies, Nemesis and all them other. All right. And then I also like the fact that we do have somebody who can kind of shapeshift. That one dude, what's his name? I don't even remember what his name is. He's the dude that went out onto the ship. I think it's I don't know, this Darum Ray or something like that. I like that he, I like meeting new characters, meeting new species. And in all honesty, with this being Starfleet, which is based in San Francisco, even though they are on a starship, which we'll talk about the starship design later. Like I'll tell you, whether or not I like the whole little, separate the eagle, the fly. I don't know, but we'll talk about that. And but what I do like is the potential for us to now, as opposed to when we normally have a Star Trek a series, and we get that one episode or those two episodes where they go to Earth, either present day, past time, rarely in the future. Sometimes in the future when it's the last episode of the series, but we get to actually have a live in real time depiction of the future. And this feels like this is the 25th or 26th century. Okay. And we get to see, at least, if not Gene Roddenberry's direct vision for the future, what the Star Trek folks vision as the future. If you watch carefully, when they enter the atmosphere, as soon as the ship, which I believe, what did they call the ship? It's gonna come to me in a second. The Athena. When the Athena comes into the atmosphere around San Francisco, you'll notice that there's like 3 or 4 shuttles that are launching into space. You'll notice that as they're landed, if they look out the window, you see all of the air traffic mobiles that are not driving, but they're flying, kind of like they would on Coruscant, right? And you get to see that Golden Gate Bridge is still standing. You see the new San Francisco skyline. All right. And I'm just eager to see what happens when they leave campus and just go somewhere in the world. Do they even have people waiting in McDonald's to serve you anymore? Or is it 100% automated? Do they even use money? Do you just go and grab however much or whatever it is that you want and keep going? Do they still have a Starbucks? Do people still go to the movies? Do they drive? Is everything automated? These are things that we didn't necessarily know about the 25th century before Starfleet Academy. So we get to see what Earth, specifically California, who knows, maybe even New York, Florida, Texas, Canada, Jamaica, we get to see what these places look like. So that's something I feel like is worth getting excited about. So I'm looking forward to that, as well as whatever else it is that this show has to offer. I can't even sit here and imagine the different types of things that they can explore. Oh, by the way, one last thing. Can we please talk about the Jemadar in the room? Yes, the Jemadar in the room. Like, there is a whole Jemadar species. Like, they got a walking Jemadar on the ship, bro. Like, the Jemadar, and she said she's got something to do with the Klingons. It's like, how you Klingon and Jemadar, like two of the most ferocious species in the Delta Quadrant. Excuse me, not the Delta Quadrant, excuse me, the Gamma Quadrant, the Beta Quadrant, excuse me. It was Gamma Quadrant, actually, because it was with the Dominion, right? Yo, so you got a Jemadar who is essentially, I think that's the old girl from I bet you it is too. Nah, is that old girl from what's the Sandman? I think that it looks like her. Laura Thok. Nah, it's not. It's a young woman by the name of Gina Yashir. All right, and she's also a comedian in it. Okay, hold on, we might have to holler at her, see what she's talking about. But yeah, so she is half Jemadar, and I don't want to say she also has Klingon in her, but she said she was learning from the Klingons, and we know that means like she ain't finna get over on her too many times. She told old boy like damn near immediately, like, get your ass down. I want 500 push-ups now, right now. Count them out, like, Major Pain style for the OGs out there. So I dig that. And my man right here, like I said, we're gonna get into whether or not he is actually Klingon or he's a mix of races, but it really does look Klingon, doesn't it? It looks Klingon to me, but I don't want to jump the gun. I don't know that for a fact. Although if I had to put my money on it, I would say Klingon is probably what it is. So yeah, that we have the Betazoids that came in. Remember, the Betazoids, they're the ones like, yo, not only can they empathize with your feelings, but if they're in the wrong state of mind, or if there's some sort of something going wrong with them, they can also project their feelings on everybody around them. Remember a couple of episodes of Deep Space Nine where they had a Betazoid come on, and when she was in love with somebody, everybody was in love with somebody. When she was angry, everybody around her was angry. That's what the Betazoids is. So that's why you see they had that inhibitor on her neck, because if they don't put that inhibitor on her neck, if she feeling sad, everybody feels sad. And it even happened in a couple episodes, if I'm not mistaken, of Lower Decks. Shout out to Lower Decks. I see you, Captain Beckett, all day. Let go. And I see you, Mariner. Let's run it. So yeah, man, listen, there's way too much to unpack, and we'll continue to keep looking into what it is that's going to make this show great or fail. Who knows? I don't know. I hope that it keeps doing well. Oh, look, we see Tilly, and I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm geeked up. Trek is back, and it's back in a good way. They're clearly trying to make it suitable for a younger audience. They said shit like 10 times. I think they might have said ass. Damn near surprised they didn't throw a couple F-bombs, maybe even M-bombs in there. But yeah, they definitely are. And you got all the usual Star Trek quirks, the hypo spray, the transmitter, the transporter, you get to see inside some of the quarters. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and keep this thing going. I'm geeked up to see what the rest of this looks like. Right now, I am going to give this Star Trek premiere, as of this very moment, I will take this down in 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna go ahead and get a thing the thumbs up. Come on up with the thumbs on up. Yeah, come up with the thumbs up. What is that? I'm gonna come up with the thumbs up. Oh, I ain't mean to do. Nah, not that, man. Just the thumbs up thing. You come on, man. Thumbs up. Is it two? Just one thumbs up? There it is. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm willing to give this. I'm gonna say about a 7.5. Nah, no 0.5s. I'm gonna go ahead and give this John a solid 7. This is a 7, man. I can't give it a 10. It's a 7, and I hope that it gets even better. So peep back later when we talk about this Saturday as well, live on the New Blurred Order. As you will always catch us. Make sure you like if you watch this. Please just hit that like button real quick. Drop a quick comment, even if it's just a word or an emoji, and we will check you all little more later. Scene done, sir. Ha ha. Peace.
The new Blurred Order is one of my favorite places to visit. I hope you'll join us next time.